Things not going well in crypto, at least not for the Drong. Anyway, we move on, ladies and gentlemen. It's game number 7, MarineLorD versus Beasty. You've seen him all night on the Marlians. You'll see him again one last time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Baltic, where we witness MarineLorD on the Abbasid Dynasty ace off against Beasty on the Marlians. If you have missed it, the 7 games or 6 games prior to this, Beasty has only played the Marlians. He is quite literally a Marlian enjoyer, a Marlian main, if you will. And, well, today's the day. Today's your lucky day if you're a fan of the Marlians. Lidakor, I know you're a fan of the Marlians. How are you feeling about this matchup?
Do you know what just popped into my mind?
Yes.
Thinking about... You actually do? Okay.
Cocoa Crunch.
No.
No.
Close, but not close enough.
Five Guys.
Definitely not. I mean, Five Guys is not something I would think about. Honestly,
The restaurant. The restaurant, Lidakor. Hey, it's 2023, Lidakor.
All right, so going back to the early days of the competitive Age of Empires scene, there was a big debate whether we should force people to choose different civs. A lot of people were like, why can't they just pick the civilization that they love to play with, like StarCraft? And we kind of went the AoE 2 as the classic Age of Empires pathway, where you had to choose different civilizations for each game. And, well, that became the norm. It's actually funny to see going back here, where it's like, okay, one player just mains one civilization, plays one set with that same civilization. And it's crazy how standard that is in StarCraft, and nowadays how weird that feels in AoE 4.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I guess, yeah, the whole concept of mains is interesting, right? Or like civilizations, factions. I guess with the lack of what's the word I'm looking for? When you've got civilizations that are all really similar, makes it very easy to master them all. But when you've got civilizations that are so different from each other, definitely makes it a little bit harder. But we do see obviously quite a bit more diversity in your civilization bonuses in Age of Empires 4 than in previous games, with maybe the exception of AOM, maybe even AoE 3 to an extent. But nonetheless, we continue on, and interestingly, Beasty not opting for any aggression, at least not just yet. Perhaps we do see the barracks come down soon, but MarineLorD's put down the outpost. Has he completed the outpost, or did he just leave it chilling out on the shoreline? We'll ride on board with him and take a look at it.
Yeah, that would be nice to see. Yeah, he's waiting for it. Beasty actually throws a couple of torches, love that. Just to make sure that if MarineLorD cancels, he won't get a full refund. Actually pulls away all the sheep as well before they would get clubbed to death. Love the little micro there.
It's quite funny, isn't it? Because Beasty's like, ooh, an outpost. Don't mind if I do. And MarineLorD's just like, ooh, a sheep. I don't mind if I do. And then Beasty very quickly realizes like, oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, no, you're right. My bad. I'll leave. So the outpost remains up. Now, for anybody wondering, why is this outpost here? Why is it at 90%, 95%? Why does it just sit here? And the reason why is because MarineLorD doesn't want to finish that outpost. But if he has to, he will. So just like Dad with the leather belt, you don't want to annoy MarineLorD too much, or you're going to be in a world of pain.
Indeed, as long as that building is not finished, if you cancel it, you get a full refund, or, well, near full refund now that it has been damaged a tiny bit. And he's just waiting to see whether Beasty poses any level of aggression on the water. If he isn't doing that, he will just cancel that eventually. But if there was a transport ship play, for example, from Beasty, he would probably just finish the tower, and he would probably lose out access to the deep fish, but he would still have safe shorefish nearby. And fishing ships on shorefish have been buffed recently, so it's not as bad as it used to be.
All right. Well, so far, looks like MarineLorD's age up's about on par for where you'd expect it. Can we ride on board with Beasty and just take a look? He does actually cancel the outpost. So the outpost goes down, adding in a second dock. Don't see any early aggression from Beasty. So this is a bit of an interesting opening. So Beasty just kind of, for me, it feels like the big bonus. Oh my God. It's happening. It's happening. You asked for it. You made Reddit posts about it. It came out as the #1 strategy of 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to announce to you the MarineLorD currently is building the trade wing.
Ooh, lovely to see that. He's also going for a second dock, so I'm not sure how... Well, if Beasty sees the structure or the layout of the House of Learning, he should be able to see which wing is being built. But without that, he might not know that's the direction that MarineLorD is heading, because you have a second dock coming up as well for MarineLorD.
Yeah, this is very interesting from MarineLorD. So MarineLorD basically saying at this point, you've got to come and challenge me with these traders, and if you don't, I'm just going to be getting free gold for days. I'm curious whether MarineLorD goes to the extent of putting down that market all the way in the corner, just to maximize the values that he's getting.
Now, I don't know how well this is going to work against the Malians, because strictly speaking, the Malians could just go for warrior scouts themselves and just intercept that. Now, that takes a decision from Beasty, though, because as long as Beasty is full committing to the water, he won't be able to afford that. He saw the House of Learning, or House of Wisdom, rather, and he saw the wing that's being built, so he knows fully well that it's a trade wing coming up. But at this point, it could very well be a bait. It could just be MarineLorD saying, okay, I want you to start investing into warrior scouts, and then I'll just surprise you with a full water play.
Yeah, that could be definitely a way that he looks to do it. You know, often Don Artie's talked to me about this, and he says, look, the strength of this is that if it works, you're up like 450 gold a trip. If it doesn't work, then your enemy's at least going to be doing something that they wouldn't have been doing otherwise. So it's good to force something out of your enemy, or at least you get something if you don't. So slowly but steadily, MarineLorD's going to be trickling in resources that he wouldn't otherwise be getting. So it's a pretty smart move early on. But we do see the first of the boats are coming through. It's going to be a double Hulk opening after the first Dow comes out.
You mean Buglaws, right? Here come the Buglaws. And, oh, there is a trade. Triple trade cards for the time being. Will be scouted by Beasty. We'll actually send some stuff over there to harass it. And you can already see that Beasty is starting to make some warrior scouts. So these traders will be pushed back. But as you said, this forces Beasty to at least invest into some level of land presence. And that could give an edge to MarineLorD on water if he decides not to invest any further into the trade.
All right, well, MarineLorD is zoning in on Beasties. It's close. Oh, he gets it. Jeez, that was a lot of damage, wasn't it? But the fishing boat's going to be coming out to meet the springled ship. It's probably just easier to call it a springled ship, isn't it? That way you don't have to worry about the names of it. I think, what is it, a hunting canoe? Something like that. But yeah, at this point in the game, Beasty being forced to go into a stable, being forced to go into warrior scouts, it's not something that he wants to do. He wants to be investing 100% of resources onto land. And he's not able to do that now. He will be able to utilize those scouts in other ways, though. Maybe look for a raid here, a raid there. Obviously prevents his enemy from gathering up gold. But once again, we do see the traders moving out. One in the center. He's got really low health. Probably going to get picked off here. Beasty going to try and dive it. Indeed, manages to do it. Now, one thing to note is MarineLorD could always just head down to the other corner. It doesn't seem intuitive because you're going towards the enemy base, but often people will forget that you can do that.
He could, but I think Beasty has one scout coming from the south as well, so he's anticipating such a move. And now you see traders having been picked off, rather. Now the scouts can start harassing the lumberjacks, and so far this didn't work out well for MarineLorD. He's now moving in with some demos in the Buglaws. There are some demos on the other side as well for Beasty, and it's not like there's a dominant navy advantage here for MarineLorD.
The Backlaws continue to move forward. Keep in mind there's the defensive bonus here. Looking to try and take out some of the Dow on the backside, but it looks like the explosive ship going to come through. MarineLorD putting the pedal down. He says, get out of there, boys. And indeed, they do get out. Dow doing a great job of defending the Backla there. At the same time, we hear attack sirens going off over towards the west side of the map.
Yeah, those Baglas, they are speedy boys, so it's difficult for Beasty to catch them with his own ships. We're going to have a barracks out as well for MarineLorD. Has a stable already to make a couple of horsemen, so now Beasty is the one who has to actually start investing into some more warrior scouts at the very least, because otherwise he's the one who could be surprised on land. Yeah, exactly. Interestingly, Beasty's really started adding in up towards the north side of his base quite a lot of houses onto the pit mine, but got a nice little fight coming through here. MarineLorD doing a decent job of holding, but
one key interaction to remember from this situation is that your horsemen don't regen, whereas the warrior scouts do.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you can be kind of annoying with these, and so far that's exactly what Beasty has been doing. Spearman trying to catch up here. Let's see the water though, because it looks like we have a big fight coming up here. Numbers seem relatively even though. 7 ballista ships against 6. Beasty has 5 demos though, not something that MarineLorD has.
That is an awful lot of demos. But obviously keep in mind that when it comes to micro, MarineLorD is no slouch. So he'll do his best to duck and dive his way through those demos. Make sure he keeps his backlars alive.
Ooh, looks like he snuck out the traders. And it's only one warrior scout. Beasty had the anticipation that there is going to be a sneak out that way. We won't be able to shut it down before the first trip finishes. Won't even be able to yoink the first trader, I believe, unless... Nope. Gets away with like 1 HP.
Close, though. Yeah. So many more warrior scouts. Look at the warrior scout numbers. This is what's so difficult to deal with, honestly, when you're playing up against the Malians. The relentless warrior scouts. It reminds me almost of the French in the way that they heal up with their own knights. You see the warrior scouts a little bit less cutthroat, but still very, very strong.
First batch of gold comes in from the trade, though. That's the power spike that we've been waiting for. That's the power spike that MarineLorD has been waiting for. Still, though, Beasty has 8 demos, and he's been just patiently stacking those up. That could be very ugly for MarineLorD, especially if he's not looking.
Yeah, MarineLorD now beginning to push in. He's got to be so careful at a time like this. See those little demos up the top side of the map, just sneaking in. They're just biding their time, just waiting. Scout's going to be able to try and pick off some vills here. Doing a decent job. More spears going to be coming out. Should be able to push it back. Actually manages to take out some scouts. That push on water is happening right now, Lidakor. Demo ships moving in. Great cover from the Dows, though. Dows doing a beautiful job to cover here. Should be able to clean up completely, but the single demo makes its way through. Not going to find a connection except for the one. I'm a little bit behind. I can feel it right now. Lidakor, take over.
Oh, demo ships are not connecting for MarineLorD unless this one hits. Might actually get a connection. Oh, that's a beautiful hit. Oh, boy. That last demo for MarineLorD. That might be a lifesaver.
All right, well, the numbers starting to even up. Still under attack on land. More demos continuing to come in, and he's actually going after the docks at this point. So Beasty making a decision, but all of those warrior scouts going to be going down. Worker kills have continued to rise, with Beasty taking out 10 worker kills so far, but demos now coming up the rear. Single Dow or single arrow ship looking to try and take it, but the split's coming in. Oh, that's a huge shot. Hits 3 of the attack ships. Manages to take it all out. MarineLorD's also managed to put pressure on land, moving out with the horsemen. At the same time, cleaning up the raid behind the scenes. He's just done a great job of keeping his head above water. Not having to worry too much, and the trade continues.
Yeah, this was some lovely engagements on the water for MarineLorD. Also manages to damage one of those pit mines, and he now has untouched traders on the northern side. Beasty is just now replenishing his warrior scouts. And when the second batch of gold comes back from those traders, that could be the factor that swings this water battle even more so in the favor of MarineLorD.
I'd love to see Beasty add in a market in that back corner just to maximize... Oh, sorry, MarineLorD, rather. Add a market in that back corner just to maximize the bonus from his trade. It's only 100 wood. And it means that you've got a lot more efficient traders, but I guess not a huge focus for him at the moment. The trades are very, very minute portion of his economy. He's got fishing ships. He's got plenty of vills out here. So he's got a lot bigger fish to fry, I guess you could say.
Indeed, he does. Beasty's now shifting to the south with his warrior scouts, but MarineLorD actually retasked his traders to the north. So now, once again, Beasty won't be in a position to catch them before they bring in a new batch. And you see, MarineLorD feels confident about his trade. For a moment, actually went for one of the trade techs, but then ends up canceling it. Actually finds a couple of lumberjacks over here, some good value.
Yeah, this is really nice. The main thing here is idle time. You're going to force these lumberjacks to get it engaged in a fight. Worst case scenario, run away. And that way you can at least buy some more time by coming back in. But a little bit of a push happening out on water right now as well. There's more sprinkled chips. Looking to try and lead the pack here. Numbers starting to build for Beastie. MarineLorD's still sitting on a double digits number, though.
It's so hard to break Beastie's water here for MarineLorD, and he's been taking some really good engagements on the water, but Beastie still maintains a lot of naval presence, and now he's got 6 demos. He's gonna retry the same attempt again, try a wrap around with the demos, and it nearly worked last time, so MarineLorD has to be very cautious about this. Beastie's eco is still just as good as MarineLorD's, so this is anyone's game still.
I'd love to see him get more of an angle, really try and get behind where MarineLorD is pocketing himself. It can be tough because you want to try and wiggle yourself all the way out to the edges. But we'll have to see whether he's able to succeed there. At the same time, managing to clean up the trade, so doing a decent job here. Took a while, but he's managed to get on top of it. And now just checking to make sure that his enemy's not trading on any other lines. It's just the one trader he's got to shut down. Barrack's going to be coming up here as well for Beastie. Adding in more and more production. At the same time, MarineLorD posturing on water as he begins to push out towards that center. A lot of backless here. He's up to 13 backless now. Beastie, by the same token, up to 13 himself. 9 demo ships here. We'll head back to the center as those backless continue coming in. A big raid on that backside. We'll worry about that later. You can watch that worker count in the bottom left-hand corner if you want to see it go up. But I can assure you right now, Beastie's going to be having a fun time cleaning up all those vills. We'll head back to the middle, though, as the battle begins to unfold in the center. Units everywhere right now. Chaos on this map, Lidakor.
Yeah, you feel like there is just one big battle waiting to unfold. And you see, MarineLorD sees how many demos Beastie has. He may have even caught a glimpse of him splitting those up, so he should be ready. But you feel like this is kind of the quiet before the storm. We will have another gigantic naval battle in a second, as it looks like there is a bit of a harassment on both sides. Both of those should be cleaned up, though, so no major damage done to the land-based eco of either of those players.
Yeah, they've both done a pretty good job at reacting to the enemy raids coming through. We do see MarineLorD going to be finding his way onto the woodline, but Donzo's there to clean him up. Still looking to siege down this position in the center. Hit mine gone down. Now just a couple houses left.
Eco is better for Beastie, though. Overall resource income is around 2,000. It's more like 1,700 for MarineLorD. He does have a couple of traders, so those results may be a little skewed. But still, MarineLorD's gold income is not something I envy right now. And especially once he cleans up that cavalry, could actually use a couple more traders, maybe.
Yeah, you're not wrong, yeah. I think trade could definitely go a long way in a game like this. But we see triple racks getting thrown down by MarineLorD. What is this all about? Is he looking to throw down a potential push? Is that it? Demo ships on the shoreline. This could be bad. This could be really bad. He manages to spot out a couple of these demos, though. Before they're able to dish out any damage, he cleans them up. He makes his pocket a little bit safer, but at the same time, he's somewhat restricted down here. If Beastie moves to the north side, he could very quickly look to surround him. That's exactly what we see coming through. Beastie pushing out now on water. Right on board with Beastie as he begins to push across the sea. A lot of ships out here. Sprinkled ships firing and the demo ships making their way through. A single demo comes in and looks to get met. He's looping them through one by one. Just amazing splits coming out from MarineLorD. He looks to pick up a couple on the south side. The backline number's still strong here. 15 up against the 18 of Beastie. And now pushing through. All the demos are down. One demo in queue for both of these players, and now it's just a classic case of spin to win. Except the only thing is, there's no more spinning. Not anymore. Gone to the good old days of spinning to win, Lidakor.
Yeah, demo reinforcements slowly coming in here from MarineLorD, but not many of them. I think Beastie's demos have done just enough to swing this in his favor. And now there is a second batch of demos coming in. Pinned against the coast is MarineLorD. Has to be very cautious with those new demos arriving.
Yeah, we can see more and more ships beginning to trickle in. Sprinkleds together with the archer ships and a demo for Beastie on that backside. Let's see if he's able to dodge out any of these shots. The Dow picks off the demo before it's able to connect. Demo coming in to respond. MarineLorD able to hold for a little bit longer here. A defensive bonus, despite being down about, oh my lord, that's a lot of spears.
That's a lot of spears indeed, and that's going to be a pit mine destroyed. houses will also burn down. Could be annoying for Beasty, because with all those houses being burnt down, he will be housed for a moment. Aside from that, though, he's got Donzos to deal with that, so he probably shouldn't be that worried about it. We'll probably shift his pit mines to the south.
MarineLorD down 15 vills right now. That's a huge amount of vills. So somewhere in here, Beasty's gotten a whole bunch of worker kills. He wasn't at this many before. He was double digits, but he wasn't 27. MarineLorD's economy is starting to wane.
Yeah, fishing ships probably went down, and I mean, given how relentless Beasty was with these raids inside the base of MarineLorD, I would be shocked to learn if Beasty didn't kill any villagers. We're likely looking at 10 plus villagers getting caught in the crossfire in this 20-minute game.
MarineLorD doing a decent job of cleaning up that pit mine though. Like, hats off to him for that. Really well done. Nicely executed, up to 22 spears. This is a good number. Just going to leave these buildings here. Continue moving on. Remember, this is going to draw a reaction from Beasty. Beasty's going to react and say, okay, what am I going to do to deal with all these spears? We've only got one option, really, and that's archers. And we see he's got one in queue at the moment, two already out on the field. A whole bunch of idols about to... Gosh, there's a lot of spears here. If these guys got their phalanx upgrade, I suspect they probably have. All right, well, you wanted worker kills, you got them. At the same time, pushing on land, or rather, pushing on water, rather. Demo ships, so many demo ships coming in, but remember, the AoE from the Dows could be enough to take them all out, but huge damage onto those docks as well. All of the ships go down, and Beasty with an 11 sprinkled ship advantage here looks almost certain to capture the water. And that might be GG. All the ships have gone down. I'm starting to worry right here.
You say that, but in a blink of an eye, Beast lost 25 eco. If he can clean this up on land, he's okay, but I see 3 archers, 7 Donzos, and he just lost 20 eco. This is such a madness of a game right now. If MarineLorD held onto the water, this would be his game. Now Beasty has the water, and right now MarineLorD, as crazy as it sounds like, he's actually the master of the land, and he's on a second town center, so hold the phone. I don't think this is over just yet.
I think you might be right. I think you might be right. Even though that military difference we see, 88 versus 25, remember that only a handful of those units are actually on land. All the rest of them are on water, and it's that classic case of investing a little bit too much on water. I don't want to say too much, because he invested the right amount, the right amount to knock off MarineLorD from water, but MarineLorD still survives. He still chills out on land.
MarineLorD doesn't have a production building, I think. He lost the barracks, lost the range, loses the blacksmith. It's going to make it much more difficult to clean these bad boys up inside his base. You see, he's got some Donzos, some warrior scouts, and some archers, but especially if these spearmen have phalanx, this is a fight that you might be able to take.
Yeah, definitely the case. Horsemen going to be looking to try and clean it up. Don't find too much of a connection. Now the spear's going to have to fall back away from this. A very tense moment right here as the sprinkled ship begins firing down upon these units.
Beasty's getting his eco back on track, though. I'm not sure if it's fishing eco. I suspect it is. But now he's back to 74 eco, and with the passive resource income combined with that, that is going to be probably enough. Having said that, MarineLorD is on 3 TCs now, so MarineLorD has no desire to give up on this.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And he's doing the right thing. This is, I mean, in this position, you want a Hail Mary. A Hail Mary is how you come back into this. So, definitely the right play. Nice little turnaround there. Able to find connections. Able to take out one of the scouts. I don't think he's got phalanx through. It looked like the second row of spears wasn't attacking just then. So my suspicion is we don't have phalanx through.
Yeah, it's lacking. Could have helped a little, although against those archers and the Donzos, it probably wouldn't have been enough. Looks like MarineLorD is getting some upgrades going. Tries to get some raids with these 4 leftover horsemen, but that gets mirrored by the sofas. Now Beasty's eco is looking sharp. If he gets back on gold, he could think about Castle H here. And as much as MarineLorD has a wall down to the south, that's not gonna amount too much when water control is in the hands of Beasty, and he could transport anytime he wants.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's so easy to get around that wall. if you want to. That's the thing, right? It's like it reminds me of a lock on a door. A lock on a door is just designed to prevent honest people from taking advantage of an opportunity. If someone really wants to get through it, it's very easy for them to do that. It's the exact same here with the wall. You're preventing that opportunist scout or opportunist sofa from getting through. Big farming economy now coming down from MarineLorD. Keep in mind, doesn't have access to the economic wing. All of these farms he's paying full price for. Does have the trade wing, but just never opted for any of the trading upgrades.
Yeah, it's not like he has map control anymore to trade with, so that's not gonna work. He's hoping that he can make a faster recovery on the eco department than Beastyqt does, but that's not the case. Both players have lost the same amount of economy, 30 to 31, but Beastyqt's recovery was much more rapid, and that is not even accounting for the actual passive resource income from the pit mines.
Have we got trade ships in for Beastyqt just yet? Are these trade ships? They look like trade ships to me.
Lovely. What's the return value on them?
That's going to be huge. Actually, that should be massive.
Yeah, I love it. 52-52, not too bad. For a game in which your opponent doesn't have a terrific eco, it's actually great value. You're playing 1 TC. Fishing ships are nice, but those trade ships, they actually give you a better value in this situation, at least.
Yep. Yeah, agreed. Military wing now coming through from MarineLorD. It's going to be a long wait. 1 minute and 45 seconds. Not quite 145 seconds, but similar amount of time, I guess you could say. But, yeah, Beastyqt now beginning to push through. Archer numbers looking pretty solid here for MarineLorD. Going into the military wing is the right call. Be able to prop up his archers with the comp bows.
What MarineLorD would really need is a tower close to that trade post. Beastyqt is trading with the trade post right next to his base. If there were 1 or 2 towers out there, it would make the life of those trade ships a lot worse.
True. Yeah, that's a really good call. All right, well, slowly and steadily, MarineLorD works towards that second or that third age. Start to see some upgrades. He's picked up horticulture as well. 27-minute horticulture, don't mind him. Beastyqt actually walling up on both sides, so indicating that he might just be quite happy playing a long game. MarineLorD's score has managed to climb. Beastyqt's still ahead by about 1,000 points here. 10 Vil's the difference. 10 military pop the difference, but there's still quite a tech lead.
Yeah, I think the worrisome detail for MarineLorD is that he's working with finite wood and gold inside his base, whereas for Beastyqt, he actually has the larger portion of the map under his control, and he's also getting that infinite gold and wood from the trade, so he's more than content with this status quo that there is right now.
True. Yeah, that's a really good point. MarineLorD, as you mentioned, he needs to establish control on this north side of the map. There's a lot of resources of value up here. He's got access to plenty of wood, plenty of gold. Most importantly, that trading post that he was initially trading with. Could also look to deny out the trading post from his enemy, but we start to see the upgrades coming through. Veteran archers, veteran spears, and boot camp going to be increasing the health of both of those units. Could expect to see some Springlets coming out on the defensive. Could help push back all of these ships on the shoreline. Now a little bit of a raid coming through. Looks like the transport ship has indeed worked its magic. Either that or he's found a way through. Forcing back these villages. It's going to be hard for him to control these constant attacks coming in.
It's annoying now for MarineLorD to deal with this, and you see Beastyqt is realizing that MarineLorD is starting to run out of wood. He depleted the forest to the north, almost depleted the one to the south, so towers are coming up, and MarineLorD's got a very slow-moving composition, actually starts adding Springles to try and snipe the ships from the shoreline.
Both of these players are at, or very, very close to 200. MarineLorD 192 of 200. Beastyqt 200 of 200. So he's going to have Imperial on the way shortly. He's got all of his upgrades on the way through. Bandit repairs, as well as armored hull coming through. He's looking to upgrade his vessels, his fleet a little bit more. What's important to note, though, is Beastyqt's got a lot of ships still out on the sea, which are somewhat irrelevant in this game. Archers pushing forward. Not a whole lot of upgrades on these guys. Composite bows did arrive through. Spear's going to be coming out as well. Sofas yet to be met with those spears on the bottom side here, but numbers looking pretty decent. Beastie hitting that Imperial button. Going to be going up with the Fort of the Huntress. Looks to place it defensively on that south side of the map. Still holding on for dear life. He's able to close this out. Needs to get up another wall to secure this position. Problem is he's got these warships to deal with, constantly attacking. We'll be able to blast a hole through this wall very quickly.
Yeah, Beastie still needs to be cautious though, because he's very much reliant on the trade right now. Once the Springald gets close to that trade post, it's a different story, and you see MarineLorD is expanding to the north, might actually catch Beastie with the keep over here. And it's not like MarineLorD's food eco is terrible. In fact, MarineLorD could also find a way to Imperial very soon. We could be in for a long game here.
I suspect we might be. And when it gets to full imp, whose position is better? I think maybe Beastie because of the trade, but if the trade gets shut down, where do you go from there?
Yeah, if the trade gets shut down, I would say it's MarineLorD. He's got a fully developed economy. Exclusively villagers, and if he gets map control, he can use them. If these traders get taken down, suddenly Beastie's eco is going to just dip very heavily, and it will take some time until he recovers, and that's a time that MarineLorD can use to finish the game.
I think MarineLorD has now seen the trade route, so he's well and truly aware of it. We saw those spears attacking the villagers very clearly in their line of sight. They had access or could see the traders, so don't be surprised if MarineLorD looks to gather up a little bit more stone and drop down a keep on that shoreline, the same way Beastie's looking to do right here.
Yeah, he should. He definitely should. I'm actually curious if MarineLorD will start thinking about trading now, because let's not forget about that. He now has the northern peak of the map, I guess, northern edge of the map. That should be allowing him to get some trade going himself. He's going to be on the way to Imperial in a brief moment, goes up with the culture wing, and now he's going to shut down the trade, or at least that's the plan. Cannons now mounted on those canoes though.
What's the range on these Springald ships and their upgraded cannons? Because it looks pretty decent. Let's have a look and see whether he can deal with it in the castle age or whether he's going to need to wait until Imperial.
It's 8.
It's 8 tiles of range, so yeah, you can deal with it. So Springalds can deal with them effectively.
Yeah. It's worrisome for MarineLorD that we still don't see any pressure towards those traders on the shoreline. The Springalds were lost, but at this point, there needs to be immediate pressure towards those traders, because that's almost the only win condition that MarineLorD can have. Now, it looks like he's going to try drop a keep over here, using the leftover infantry as a bait. Actually works out pretty well so far, although... Is it? No, the keep is going down. He's going to lose the keep, Aussie.
Was it cancelled? It was hard to tell whether it was cancelled or whether
stone. Look at the stone bank, Aussie. That was taken down.
Yeah. Oh, that's really painful. This is where it comes back to, I think that he probably should have looked to challenge with Springalds rather than with the keep. The keep makes a lot of sense, but at the same time, you're up against what are essentially bombards with a huge movement speed base.
Yeah, that's the problem. At this point, there should be 4, 5, 6 Springalds out there for MarineLorD, constantly sniping those ships. Because without that, there is no win condition for him. Malian economy will just grind him down. For him, he needs to cut into Beastie's eco as fast as possible. And right now, the only way to accomplish that is by taking down that trade.
Beastie actually going to be going for the counter keep and throwing it down where exactly MarineLorD had looked to do the same thing slightly earlier. When it comes to upgrades, we don't see any elite upgrades coming through just yet for MarineLorD. He's running a little bit low on gold. We do see elite archers now coming through for him. So it definitely feels like MarineLorD needs to move into some bombards to deal with this. Maybe some culverins. Both of these civilizations do have access to culverin. So important to note. With the culture wing coming through, it's going to give access to preservation of knowledge to reduce the cost of all these upgrades coming in. We do see a culverin on the way now for MarineLorD.
Good find on the southern side over here, finds that aggression. Problem is that by pulling the army to the south, now you forfeit that keep on the north, and once again Beastie has an untouched trade. And these canoes with the cannons, they actually contribute quite heavily as well.
Yeah, they've got some pretty decent range on them. Honestly, the 8 range is massive. And on a map like this, it's very, very strong. But we do see double Colv coming out. Now going to be moving into the Bombard. So interesting style from MarineLorD, not going 1-1, but going 2-1.
I'm actually unsure how good Culverins are against ships. But if they follow the Springald logic, they should be decent.
Yes, correct. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they are. I think they get a bonus damage against them.
Yeah, you don't always see Culverins being used against ships, that's for sure.
It's a rare occasion you get to the late game and people are bringing, you know, siege to the party. But oh my lord, you've got yourself a little bit of a raid right here. Beasty diving in. I think he managed to pick up the Culverin right there. I didn't actually see what it was. I just saw the explosion of planks on the ground.
He picked 2 Culverins actually.
And now moving on to the Bombard. This is not good for MarineLorD. This might be a Beasty victory here. Just wiping out that many forces in such little time. And it is indeed good game. MarineLorD tapping out Beasty. Winning this series today, winning the series yesterday. That's your best of 7. The Malians coming out victorious. And Beasty bringing it home.
It's crazy to think how different this game could have gone if in the fight where MarineLorD massacred the villagers of Beasty, he had a slightly better naval engagement because he got wiped on water and that started the snowball. He actually did the right thing to try and recover, but credit to Beasty because his reaction was immediate and said, okay, MarineLorD's only win condition is to try and play very land-based eco, very eco-focused, 3 TCs, 4 TCs maybe even. And Beasty's reaction was, okay, I'm not going to try to catch up in villagers, I can just go naval trade and actually have an even more effective economy. And if you look at the stats, we should see an overall better resource income for Beasty over the course of this game.
Yeah, it was impressively played. The way that he had the demo ships and just had so many of them, pincered his enemy, it was masterful. It was beautiful to watch. But good news is, Lidakor, that I have a sneaky suspicion that we may get to chat with the man himself.
All right. Let's go and have a chat with one Malian enjoyer. It is going to be Beasty on the line in a matter of seconds.